Hi, I'm Nina, and welcome back to my summer mead making series. So in the last video, my nails were a little dirty and a little blue. That's because I was picking mulberries with my neighbors. They have a big, beautiful mulberry tree at their farm, and they were generous enough to let me have some mulberries to make some mead. We spent a sunny afternoon picking and snacking on these delicious fruits. The most effective way is to tap the tree with some kind of broom or stick and let all the loose, juicy, ripened mulberries fall into a tarp. Let's get started. Things are going to go a little bit differently today. Instead of making a mead completely from scratch, we're going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to be adding the mulberries in secondary fermentation. What is secondary fermentation? Oh wait, you know what? I have an example. Do you recognize the Queen's Mead? So, this fun, murky juice here was the original vessel for the Queen's Mead. This is what we used in primary fermentation. The Queen's Mead's fermentation process is slowing down, so we transferred it or racked it to another vessel. Now it is in a secondary fermentation state of being. I'll link down below in the description box articles and other videos on YouTube that can help demystify the secondary fermentation process. Moving on. The Queen's Mead is tasting pretty good, by the way, just thought I'd let you know.
Oh my God.
So why am I adding the mulberries in secondary fermentation? Mulberries are a pretty mild fruit. Their taste isn't as strong and impactful. So when added to primary fermentation, the flavors can kind of get dulled and lost. But when added in secondary, you can really enjoy those mulberry flavors. Plus, can't I be lazy this week? So I processed them in my kitchen. I picked out any twigs, or bugs, or unripened mulberries, and rinsed them off really well. After all was said and done, I had about 6 pounds of mulberries, or about a gallon. Also, I wasn't ready to make the mead yet, so it was helpful to freeze it. Once I was ready, I thawed the mulberries and I put them into a pot on the stove. So this is another crossroads in mead making. I didn't have to put the mulberries on the stove, have them at a low boil for a couple minutes, and hope that kills any wild yeast living on the mulberries. I could have used a Campden tablet. Campden tablets would have sterilized the fruit just as well and eliminated any wild yeast that clung to the fruit. There are so many different forks in the road when mead making, and there isn't always one way to do something. It all depends on what you want your outcome to be. And since this is a summer of experimentation, any weird result is a good result. Yeah, let's make weird-ass mead. So you may notice behind me there is a 50-gallon fermentation tank. That has just our straight traditional mead in it, and it's been fermenting for about 2 months now. So it's ready for secondary. I just tasted it. It's simple, sweet, and delicious. So we're gonna make it better? Better. We're gonna make it better. We're gonna make it interesting at the very least. Let's put in the mulberry juice. That's right. We're going with the funnel again. Oh, great. So my original 4 quarts of mulberries processed down to a little less than 2 quarts. I didn't add any water or sugar when the mulberries were on the stove, so this is just pure mulberry juice. It doesn't have a very strong scent. I'm not spilling any. It's not like this was a week-long process or anything, and if I spill the mulberries, beautiful. Wow, that is pretty. So secondary fermentation can kind of be a misnomer. Not a lot of fermentation actually takes place in secondary, but with fruit, you get added sugar and added water and a lower alcohol content. So most likely fermentation will resume. Ah, look at that! making. It's great. You work. Secondary fermentation. There it is. So I hope you were able to learn something new about mead making today. Making mead is rewarding and fun and easier than you think. And thank you so much for coming along with me on this mead making journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Did I miss anything? The Queen's Mead is awesome. The honeysuckle mead, still weird as fuck. What are we gonna make next? Ah! Mushroom mead. What was I saying?